Hello there, and welcome to today's Heart to Heart. I am so excited for today because we're going to be talking about something that I hear all the time. And I suspect it's going to resonate with you here today. So come on in, get cozy, grab a cup of tea, right? I got my cup of tea. I love these tea bags. They've got little sayings on them. And this one says, "You're beautiful just the way you are." I love that. Absolutely love that. Some self care, cup of tea, and some positive affirmations all in one go. Absolutely love it. So, as you're coming on in, let me introduce myself if you don't know who I am. My name's Karin Del Maestro. I'm your health and transformation coach, breast cancer, BRCA2 thriver, and I specialize in helping breast cancer survivors to get their energy and life back after active treatment is done, helping them to do the things that they know that they ought to be doing, but maybe you're struggling to do it. I'm your girl. Okay. So welcome, welcome, welcome. I see we've got some people coming on in. Feel free to pop in, say hi. I love to know who's on with me. And let's dive in because today we're going to be talking about being that feeling of being surrounded by people. And what I hear all the time is, "Karin, I've got the most amazing support system. I've got people around me who really care, who've been there with me every step through everything." And then, especially as treatment ends, this feeling of just being really alone and isolated creeps in. Actually, it doesn't creep. It, like, you wake up and it's there, right? And it was the same for me. And I remember sitting, going to my last appointment, sitting in my plastic surgeon's office, and let me know if you're watching, if this is something you can resonate with. Do you feel alone? Do you feel isolated, even though you have a great support system? If you're on live or watching the replay, let me know. I want to make sure that I'm making this relevant for you. Okay. But it's something that I hear all the time, and it's something that I also experienced going through breast cancer myself. And I think that what so often is missed in this world of breast cancer and our journey and the support and everything like that is this emotional side of what we feel, what we go through, and especially as treatment ends. Now, as I said, I went through this too throughout my own journey. I went through that feeling of having the rug pulled out from under me. It was like, it was almost like, you've been in survival mode going through treatment and you're walking that high wire, but there's a net, right? Your medical team is your net, and they're there and they're with you every step of the way. And then suddenly you hear the words, "Karin, I'll see you in 3 months." Oh! And it's like somebody just took away that security net, that safety net, that thing that was going to catch you if you fell. And I know it so well because I felt it too. And I remember feeling really scared, right? And one of the big things for me with my amazing support system, and not everybody has that. So if you do, you're blessed, you're grateful, as was I. And I think so often when we're blessed and grateful, we feel like we can't feel alone or we can't feel lost or scared or angry. But I'm blessed, but I'm grateful. And so we negate that other feeling. And I want you to know that you can feel both. You can feel blessed and grateful and alone and scared. You can feel both and allow yourself to feel both. I think that's really, really important. Okay. So, what most people experience after treatment ends is very similar to what I said, right? The rug being pulled out from under you, the safety net being ripped away. most people are left thinking, well, what am I supposed to do now? Like, what now? What now? And everybody around you is expecting you to just jump back to it, get on with your life. I've even heard of doctors saying that to patients. You're done, get on with your life. If only it were that simple, right? Because what I know to be true is life after treatment can so often feel harder than going through treatment. And if that's you, I want you to know, and I want everybody to know, this is why I shifted my entire coaching practice, right? With over 20 plus years of working in health and wellness. And after I went through my own breast cancer experience, I said, I don't want any other woman to feel alone. At that point where we feel like the rug is pulled out from under us and moving forward. And I mean that. I mean that. So, and that's part of what today's episode is about. And as we're recording this, it's February and a month typically thought of for love, right? So we're going to be talking about self-love. We so readily give it to everybody else, but what about to ourselves? We're going to be talking about that through this month, including a really special event coming up on February 28th. So mark your calendars. I'm not going to tell you about it just yet, but trust me, you don't want to miss it. Okay. So we're dealing with this pressure from everybody else. Come on, get back to it. You're done. Your body isn't feeling done. You're feeling exhausted. You're dealing with hot flashes. You're hurting from head to toe. Your brain isn't functioning. You can't think clearly. And those damn hot flashes. And there's no energy and often no motivation. It's like, where to go? Where to go? And this is the truth of what most people experience. And if you can relate to this, let me know. Put a me in the chat. This is what we aren't told. This is what doctors are not telling us. It's not their fault. This isn't their job, right? But I do take it seriously as my job. It's my job to make sure that you know what it is to be expected. It's my job to make sure that you're not walking this path on your own. I want you to have a roadmap just like you did going through treatment. And knowing that this feeling of being isolated and alone is normal, I think even that helps, right? You're not the only one. You're not the only one. And in fact, it's a big enough issue that I made it my mission, right? I don't want any woman to feel alone. I know how painful that is. I grew up feeling alone. I grew up feeling like I didn't fit in. I grew up feeling like nobody understood me. And all of those feelings were triggered after breast cancer. They were intense. They were intense. I don't want you to feel that. I don't want you to feel that pain. I don't want you to feel that discomfort. I don't want you to feel like you don't belong, because you do. You do. You have to find your tribe. You have to find your right people. And we have a whole Facebook group of them. If you have not yet joined, if you're not watching this in the group, please come in and join us in the Healthy Living After Breast Cancer Facebook community. So that's what we typically experience after treatment, right? So if you're experiencing this, it's not unusual. And if we do nothing about it, it can go on for years and years and years and years. We're wearing a mask with a smile on it, going about doing what we've always done. But inside, we're feeling almost like we're looking down on our life, like we're not part of it, like we're not fitting in anymore. And that can feel really painful. I want you to not only live your life, I want you to feel alive. I want you to feel connected. I want you to feel understood. Right? So, why do we feel so isolated, right? Often it is these memories being triggered of when we were younger. That's part of it. But the other part of it, and again, let me know in the comments if this is a question that you've asked yourself and just put the word who. Who am I now? Who am I after breast cancer? Who am I at this stage of my life? This is a question, and it feels really big, right? And I understand that. This is a question that we get to ask that kind of pops forward anytime we go through a major trauma. I can attest to that. I've been through many of them. But I can also help you answer that question. But it's part of the reason why we feel so isolated is because we're saying, I don't even know who I am. So who's going through your life? Who's living in a body that you don't recognize? Right? You might look in the mirror and you look different. Your sense of identity has changed completely. Your priorities in life have changed completely. Your perspective. Perhaps you used to get upset if the line at Starbucks was long and you'd be like, come on, come on. And now you hear those people bitching and complaining about it. And you're like, really? Really? This is what you're going to bitch and complain about? Our perspective changes. And who we are also changes. What's important to us, our core values shift and change. I teach you all about those in my group coaching program, Thrivership School. It's the first lesson that we do. Know who you are. Because if we don't know who we are, we're living, right, by the you should do this, you should do this. Why aren't you doing that? Could you do this? Could you do that? We're living according to everybody else's expectations. And that feels lonely because we're disconnected from that. Like on a whole heart and soul level, we are disconnected. And so it's a matter of discovering who you are right now in this season of life and learning to love yourself, right? Learning to love yourself. And when we do that, we actually never feel alone. When you know who you are, you never feel alone. You can feel lonely, right? But not alone when you get comfortable with yourself. So if you've noticed that you can be in a room full of people who care for you deeply, who would go to the end of the earth for you, yet you're feeling alone, like you're not fitting in anymore. Maybe you never did. Did you think about that? But you were just going through the motions, putting one foot in front of the other. I've been there. I've done that. I think most of us have at some point in our life. So what do we do? Right? What do we do to stop feeling so alone? Well, I think the first thing, you got to find your tribe. You've got to find people that you connect with, people who have similar perspectives in life, right? And perhaps you've been watching this and thinking, Karin seems to make sense to me. She's a bit goofy, a bit silly, but she seems to make sense. And if that's the case, come join us in the Healthy Living After Breast Cancer Facebook community. There are many, many communities out there, but I will tell you this. With over 1,500 women in this group, as we're recording this today, the comments that I hear about how special this group is, and yes, if you're watching this in the group, I mean you. I mean you. Because the support that we each lend to each other, asking for help, expressing things that we've probably never expressed to others, yet feel safe to express in here, and know that we're not going to be judged. It's an incredibly safe environment. And one of the biggest things that you will see is if you post and say, hey, I'm dealing with this. Maybe you're anxious, you've got a test coming up, and you post and you're getting over 100 responses from women who know exactly what you're feeling. We don't feel so alone anymore, right? And I get so many compliments from people who say that they've been in other groups and it's been down, 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 negativity all the time, that it wasn't their space. And this is what I want you to be mindful of. If you are in a group that is negative, and that's not you, if it's you, that's great, right? And there's a group for everybody, so know that. But if it's not your group, get out of it. Get out of it. Take it off your list of Facebook groups. Try ours on for size. See how it works for you. If it doesn't work, get out of it. Go in peace. No hard feelings. But if it does, we would love for you to hang out so that you no longer feel alone. I promise you, in this group, you're going to feel seen, you're going to feel heard, and you are certainly going to feel understood because we get it. That's the thing. We get it. We know that feeling of what it feels like to have the rug pulled out from under us. Right? So that's the first thing, is find your tribe. If you do nothing else, find your tribe. And this is the name of the Facebook group. I'll pop it in the link. Healthy Living After Breast Cancer. Okay. It's an amazing group. Amazing, amazing group. Makes me so happy, and I smile so much when I see the things that people are posting in there, how uplifting they are, yet realistic, right? We tell it like it is. We're honest, but we keep going. Every single one of us in that group, we keep going. Now, the second thing that you can do is send me a message. If you are feeling so alone and so stuck and not knowing what to do, send me a message. Wherever you're watching this, send me a message. Reach out. Let's chat. You do not need to feel alone. Right? I know how it feels, and I know how painful it is. And I know that I don't want you to feel that way. That's my mission. That's my mission. Nobody's going to feel alone when they're done with treatment and they're left wondering, what do I do now? Nobody's wondering what to do. Okay? So let's just do a little recap, right? I want you to know that it is not unusual to feel alone and isolated and start to withdraw, even when you are surrounded by people who love you and care for you and want to do everything for you. You can feel both blessed and grateful, and alone, exhausted, scared, anxious, all the feels. You can feel them all. They are all valid. Everything that you feel is valid. Please know that. Other people that have not been on this journey likely don't understand. It's why we need support from people that have been through it. Why I shifted my entire coaching program to support you so that you don't feel alone. Right? And we feel part of why we feel so isolated is the people around us have not been on this journey. So they can't get it. It's not their fault. There is not enough support for the emotional and mental health issues that go along with this disease. We're on a mission to change that. Myself, I've got a number of friends. We are all looking to change that. But one of the other reasons that you might feel so isolated is because you're asking the question, who am I now? I don't even know who I am anymore. That, my friend, is a question that opens the door to opportunity. the biggest opportunity for growth in your entire life. So don't be scared of that question, right? It's a chance for you to reach out for support and get the support you need to change that. We tackle that in my group coaching program, Thrivership School, which, by the way, somebody asked me the other day, Karin, I hear you talking about Thrivership School. I used to hate school when I was in it. And I said, well, you know what? This is the school, though, where there are no grades, no homework, you're never behind, and you don't get a black mark for being late. And she kind of went, oh, phew. But it's the school that's going to teach you how to thrive, how to do the things that you know that you ought to be doing, but you're not doing. And part of that is because you don't know who you are yet. So that's what I help you to do in Thrivership School. I just thought that story was so funny. I wanted to share it with you. And it was like, oh, I never even thought of it that way. So don't be scared of the name. Don't be scared of the name. It's where I teach you to thrive. And then what can we do immediately? What can you do today if you are feeling alone? I'm giving you two options. Number one, you can come join us in the Healthy Living After Breast Cancer Facebook community. Over 1,500 women right now, as I'm recording this today, goes up every single day. So grateful for that incredible community and all the incredible women in it. And the second thing, if you are like, oh my gosh, yes, I want to talk to Karin, send me a message. Put talk in the chat. I'll reach out to you. Send me a DM, send me a PM, send me a private message. Reach out. You do not need to go through this on your own. Please don't. Not when you don't have to. Not when there is support and it's available. Okay? So we're going to end up today. And I want you to know that I would be honored to be part of your support system, whether inside the group, whether through a chat, whether you decide to join a group coaching program, it doesn't matter. Whether you're on my email list, getting my newsletters and Self-Care Sunday. Just make sure that you're, just like going through treatment, that you're advocating for yourself and knowing that you do not have to do this all on your own. And it does not mean that you're not strong enough. It doesn't mean that you're not smart enough. It doesn't mean any of those things. It just means that it's too much for you to carry on your own. And it's okay. And this is one of the lessons I think that we get to learn going through breast cancer. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to hold out your hand and say, hey, could you just walk with me? Because that's all it is, just walking with you on this path, on this journey, as you start to navigate the next stage. That's all this is. It doesn't mean anything about you if you ask for help. Okay? So reach out. Thank you so much for watching. Again, I'm your host, Karin Del Maestro, and I specialize in helping breast cancer survivors to get their energy and life back after active treatment is done so that you can start to create a life where you're actually alive and vibrant instead of just existing. Okay, you fought for a reason. Think about that. Have an amazing day. Thank you so much for watching, whether you watched live or you're grabbing the replay. Thank you for watching, and I will talk to you soon. I can't wait to meet you. Bye for now.